This is your WGBW Daily News Roundup for the Talk of Green Bay, 97.9 FM and 1590 AM.
Civic Media News. I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. $36 million for opioid treatment in Wisconsin is being held up by one anonymous state lawmaker. The unnamed legislator is a member of the powerful Joint Finance Committee. They filed an objection to the Department of Health Services plan to spend the money. The money comes from a court settlement with 4 drug makers. The Universities of Wisconsin says UW-Platteville will vacate its Richland Center branch campus on July 1st. Local officials say they were caught by surprise. Senator Kelda Roys spoke about state support for the UW system at a forum in Muscadet this week.
State support for the universities has, in my lifetime, gone from just under half of the revenue that they get to between 11 and 15%.
The UW has closed 5 two-year branch campuses in a year and a half. High school athletic directors in Wisconsin say they need more time and more information before they can support student athletes getting the same kind of name, image, and likeness rights as in college.
Let's make sure we're fully vetted before implementing change. Let's make sure we do this and understand what the consequences are before we make a change.
Jeremy Schlitz of Madison is one of a majority who voted against NIL at Wednesday's meeting of the WIAA. Wisconsin election officials are considering how far election observers need to stand from poll workers on Election Day this year. The Wisconsin Elections Commission met yesterday to get public feedback on a proposal to make observers stand 3 to 8 feet from election workers. Commissioners will meet again in late June. Donald Trump is coming back to Wisconsin next week. Trump is set to speak in Waukesha next Wednesday. The Republican is on trial for 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to cover up a sex scandal. Trump has a narrow lead over President Biden in the latest Marquette poll. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. A 37-year-old Marinette County man will spend 12 years in prison for soliciting sexually explicit images of a child. David Johnson was sentenced Wednesday in federal court. Officials say he used online platforms and apps to converse with minors in Florida and Ohio, asking them to share explicit photos and sending them pictures of him. Johnson will be on 15 years extended supervision following his release and will be required to register as a sex offender. Drivers who use the Rain-Nitschke Memorial Bridge to cross the Fox River need to find another way today. Green Bay Public Works Department says the bridge will be closed from 9 a.m. until noon for maintenance. Detours include Broadway, Walnut, and Monroe Avenue. Drivers are encouraged to find alternate routes or to anticipate traffic backups. De Pere is a growing city that still tries to honor its past. Mayor Jim Boyd.
We always try to preserve, but there are times it just doesn't work and things have to come down. And then you just try to make it work and try to fit in the environment. So we always tell people we try to preserve the best we can, but, and you encourage developers to come in and sometimes they say it just can't happen.
Boyd says that means that there's a mix of buildings in De Pere, but you still get that old town feel from the city. People may not be able to grab a Bird electric scooter to get around Appleton this year. Appleton's Public Works Director says the company filed for bankruptcy protection in December, failed to pay fees owed to Appleton promptly, and did not develop a solution for the problem of riders parking the rental scooters in rights-of-way and on private property. Common Council members agreed to stop negotiations with the app-based dockless scooter sharing program. The issue will be brought up for a vote in May. This is Earth Week, and Governor Tony Evers announced that Wisconsin is receiving a grant of $62.4 million from the Biden-Harris administration to help fund solar systems for low and moderate income families and households across Wisconsin. The average cost for a 5-kilowatt rooftop system is between $14,000 and $19,000 before federal tax credits and incentives. The Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation says it will begin funding projects late this year or early 2025. The American Lung Association has released its State of the Air report card. Surprisingly, Door County received a failing grade for its air quality. The national report tracks ozone levels and particle pollution. In Wisconsin, 26 of 72 counties could be graded for at least one measure of air quality. According to the report card, Door, Manitowoc, and Sheboygan counties all received an F grade. Kewaunee County received a D, and Brown, Fond du Lac, and Outagamie counties earned a C grade. If you want to do your part during Earth Week, Governor Tony Evers has a list of 5 small things you can do to make a big impact on our state's environment. He suggests making the following changes: reduce food waste at home, plant native trees and plants, refresh your recycling knowledge, recycle old electronics, and fix any leaks in your home. And that's what you need to know. I'm Lisa Hale, WGBW News.
The Brewers with a win in Pittsburgh. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Brewers held on to a 3-2 win over the Pirates. Pittsburgh walked in a couple of Brewer batters in the third. Milwaukee very short-handed for pitchers. Bryce Wilson got his second chance at starting a game. Manager Pat Murphy.
I'm finding that out right now. I'm finding out I like him as a starter. I think he can do it. And I think he's getting started at it, and I think he's very, very capable. NBA,
it's the Bucks and the Pacers tomorrow afternoon in Game 3 of their best-of-7 series. Chris Middleton says he's all right after missing part of the first half of the last game, getting a sore ankle retaped. College hoops, more players entering the transfer portal for more NIL cash. Greg Gard last night in Madison asked about A.J. Storr and Chucky Hepburn leaving the program.
I'm not mad at anybody or specifically Chucky and AJ. If anybody in their right mind told any of you guys or gals that you could go triple your income, you'd do it in a heartbeat.
The NFL Draft tonight. The draft is in Detroit, runs tonight through all day Saturday. Next year, the draft to be held here in Green Bay. The Packers with the 25th pick. I asked GM Brian Gutekunst what makes his scouting department unique.
We've had a long-term process here for a long time that has not only had success here, but it's had success other places. Whether it goes back to Ron and Ted and putting that effort in.
The Chicago Bears unveiling a plan to build a new indoor stadium on the lakefront, not in the suburbs in Arlington. The catch is they want Illinois taxpayers to split the cost, estimated to be $4.6 billion. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Parents, take note. Dora is back. Variety reports that Paramount Plus has renewed the show for a second season. Dora is based on Dora the Explorer, which had a 19-season run on Nickelodeon between 2000 and 2019. The animated series was geared toward preschoolers and follows Dora's adventures in the rainforest. The decision to renew was made quickly. Paramount Plus launched the reboot not even 2 weeks ago. Swipe or no swiping. How important are opening weekend numbers when it comes to the box office? Ryan Gosling says the reason there was not a sequel to The Nice Guys, his 2016 film, which also starred Russell Crowe, was because it opened opposite Angry Birds. IndieWire reports the app-based animated movie brought in $38 million opening weekend compared to just over $11 million for The Nice Guys, thereby all but denying Nice Guys a sequel. Does anyone else think it's funny that a guy named after a young goose is upset with Angry Birds? The late Sam Kinison was known for outlandish behavior and pushing boundaries on stage and off. A new book about the show Married with Children reveals that Kinison actually auditioned for the part of Al Bundy. According to the book, during a season 4 guest starring role, Kinison mooned the entire cast and crew, then apologized by taking everyone out to dinner at an expensive LA restaurant. Later in the week, to make up for the fact that he was late to the set, he hired strippers to serve lunch. Kinison also apparently flashed a gun at one of the show's producers who showed up at Kinison's house, suspecting his girlfriend, who is also a friend of Kinison's, was there. In addition to Kinison's antics, the book also talks about how the series regulars were all hesitant to be cast on Fox TV's first show. The book is called Married with Children versus the World, the inside story of the shock-com that launched Fox and changed TV comedy forever. Don't worry, the book is a faster read than its title. Tom Brady will make $375 million as an analyst over 10 years. I'm not trying to denigrate a profession, but $37.5 million a year to say, great catch? I would have done it for half that. The legendary QB will be the subject of a comedy roast on Netflix May 5th. That's right, they're going to roast a handsome 7-time Super Bowl champion who married a supermodel and seems to be liked by everyone, despite his past friendship with Donald Trump. Good luck, writers. The feud between Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian is back in the news. Swift released a song called Thank You Amy, which references a bully. Swiftie fans suspect the song is directed at Kardashian, whose ex-husband, Kanye West, said derogatory things about Swift in 2016, which Kardashian still defends to this day. Taylor Swift is not ready to shake it off and came out swinging through song. In a related story, Kardashian will retaliate with a new sex tape. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 7 to 9 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mostly sunny today. We'll get to 56 for a high this afternoon. The wind out of the southeast at around 5 to 15. Tonight, clear 36. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and windy with scattered showers by afternoon. Our high 59 with more rain and thunderstorms likely Friday night into Saturday. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Current temp now 37.
That's your WGBW Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WGBW.FM.